guys, it's Brooke Eagle, and we are back with another episode of the Forsyth Magazines podcast. And today I have a guest that we've been trying to get on for years. I have Jeff Cayton, the owner of Midtown Café and Dessertery. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Brooke, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat today because even before we started recording, we were talking about some cool stuff. The restaurant business is one that is so intriguing to me. It's one that I personally don't think I could do myself, but I love chatting with restaurant owners. I think you guys are amazing. And Midtown especially, y'all have been around for what, 30 years now?
30 plus years.
Wow.
I think we were incorporated back in 87 or 88. So,
Tell us a little bit. Oh yeah, that's because I'll be 35 and I was born in 90, so well over 30 years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Midtown and kind of how you got started.
Well, it started as my former partner and the creator and first owner, Scott Girding. He grew up in Tennessee with his parents owning the Pancake Pantry, which was the first pancake place in Gatlinburg, and that's still operating now 60, 70 years later.
Wow.
Packs them in. And he went to Wake Forest, decided to go to baking, decided now I want to go work for himself, started a bake shop, came back to Winston where he had gone to Wake Forest, and opened up a bake shop and called the Dessertery. And it's over there. It used to be in Three-Way Shopping Center.
On the slant.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
And started
Where the loop is now?
yeah, on the other side.
On the other side, exactly
okay.
the opposite.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
Somewhere between Hanush Jewelers and further down a little bit.
Yeah.
Kilman's.
Yeah,
But-
but it was just a little single door that was on the slant,
Yeah.
going into, or if you're where the carving board is and you're going up, it's there on your right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
So he was doing well with that. He looked at, opened up a second location in Greensboro, and then he was either going to go try to do multiple locations of that type model, and it was way ahead of his time. And he decided, well, let me go with a more higher volume model, which was I could take what I'm doing now and fold it into a restaurant model. That's when Stratford Village was being built. So all that he got that spot. It was custom designed for that corner spot and all that. And so that was 30 plus years ago. And then it was just a successful restaurant for decades. I came on by way of being his sales rep for 15 years.
Okay.
I worked for a company called Cisco Food Service, the
Yep,
largest ones in the country, and Midtown was one of my largest customers. And I always, joke was man, you keep telling me, Scott always tell me, you keep telling me what to do, and why don't you put up some money and do it? Basically, he got to the point
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, he got to a point where he was looking to transition, and he was looking for a way to transition. So he didn't want to, just a hard sell. He wanted a slow transition out, and it was just perfect timing. God put us in the same place at the same time, and it was been a wonderful transition over that 4 years before he left.
Yeah.
And so that was about 6+ years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So was being a restaurant owner in your life plan?
More or less, I guess. I
Yeah.
wanted to go into business for myself. I grew up in restaurants. I always joke I never had a real job. I always worked in restaurants, or I sold to restaurants, or So if it wasn't bartending, when I started out washing dishes when I was 14.
Oh, I
doing
love
stuff
that.
like that.
What drew you to love the restaurant industry?
Food. I could, I moved out on my own when I was 18, and you could eat. You can make money. You could eat.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100 degrees outside working. These were all perks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I feel like restaurants always have such a good team. Everybody has fun together. I mean, I'm sure not all the time, but it seems like in restaurants they're having fun back there.
For the most part, yeah, it can be that way. Yeah. So I grew up with that environment and stuff, and then when I was going to college at NC State, my uncle owned a pub in Raleigh, so I worked for him. And then when I got out and was looking for that real job, I tried for a couple of days.
It's overrated.
Yeah, where I was sitting in a cubicle, and I was going insane. So I was like, so let me go sell things. So I ended up selling to the restaurants. Did that for about 15 years, and I was looking to open up my own business when, the Lord put us in the right place at the right time with each other. And it was like, I came home and told my wife, I was like, hey, Scott wants us to buy Midtown. And she about fell down, and she said, well, I think that's the right move too. So, I mean.
Well, good.
Yeah,
So what kind of changes have you made over the last few years since owning it?
Yeah, it was an evolution, it's evolution of the brand, and the biggest thing to our success, beyond just treating it as a hospitality first mindset, was just evolving the brand just to make sure you stay relevant. Because I've always fully believe if you're not growing, you're dying.
I love that quote. One of my favorites.
And especially in the restaurant industry, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
And so I looked at what we were doing well, what was on point, what was on trend. And because we're never trendy, but we're always on trend. That's why I like to look at it over the longer term.
Yeah.
So the trendy ones that come and go, and we like to say we keep on rolling. So
yeah, because y'all have been around forever, and you have a little bit of everything. Like, it's pretty impressive, in my opinion, for a restaurant to have a really good breakfast and a really good lunch and dinner. Usually, it's not all three.
then 30 plus desserts.
Yeah.
So, I like to say I'm a genius at it, but more or less, I'm very good at looking at. Listening to suggestions from the people that I've been close to, have worked for me, and paying attention to what other people have done well at other restaurants and other places around the country.
Yeah.
And and that started with some stories Scott used to tell me, because, hey, this item came from my trip to so-and-so. I found this, and we took that upon ourselves as well. And so that's how it's continued to evolve. The biggest evolution was brunch as a concept.
Yeah.
We were already starting that. Before then, it was just brunch was whatever the dinner time restaurants would do on the weekend, because they weren't open for breakfast or anything of that nature. So that opened up a whole new genre for us, and really encapsulated us more into a brunch style restaurant than just breakfast.
Yeah, because I think that's the beauty of Midtown, is that you can go any day of the week, anytime, and get your breakfast or your lunch food.
Exactly. So and then so it's a balance of trying to appeal to everybody, but you got to make sure you do it in such a way that you don't lose out and not appeal to anybody.
Yeah.
That's the way to say that.
And you have to have, I think, a diverse menu while also kind of honing it in and being really good at the things that you do.
Right.
How do you narrow down what is on the menu, what stays on the menu? And one other question, you can answer any or all, but what is your most all-time most popular thing that's ordered at Midtown?
And then I have a gripe. So you go ahead.
Yes. Go get in line. There's quite a few of them after my last menu change. Yes. But it was funny. What used to be our biggest sellers have died off a little bit, but now, I think our biggest number one seller outside of, 500 pound cake and just maybe a normal bacon eggs side plate is our farmer scramble, which is it's another one of those brunch items where you get a big fry. It's a baked potato that's been chopped up and fried, and put scrambled eggs and bacon and cheese and tomatoes and green onions, and then you serve it with pancakes or fruit or whatever.
Y'all have some really good pancakes.
And then the other was taking off over the last couple of years is anything with grits. First thing my wife says, we got to start serving good grits. And so we got these stone ground
good grits.
Yeah, you got good grits.
Yeah.
Grits were an afterthought then. So we made, she's a South Carolina girl. She's like, you got to have some good grits. And then it started shrimp and grits. And next thing you know, we're going through 25, 30 gallons of grits on the weekend.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's insane. Shrimp and grits is a fave.
Now it's crab cakes and grits, shrimp and grits, things of that nature. But it's just finding the balance. One of the things taglines I added to the menu a couple years ago was where flavor and hospitality meet. So you have some of the standard fares, but then for folks, but you also want to have aha flavor that steps out in each part of the menu. For example, we already sold one of our biggest sellers is French toast. We stepped it up next further and went with because we had introduced banana bread into our dessert case for breakfast offering for grab and go. So we took it one step further and started doing a banana bread French toast with salted caramel and bananas
Yum.
and powdered sugar and whipped cream, and put that on there as a it's like signature French toast.
Yeah.
And did the same thing with the 5 pound cake with we made French toast out of that with and then because of citrus berry 5 pound cake French toast. You got the strawberries and the blueberries, and you got a citrus glaze we created for it. So it's got this light, pillowy French toast.
I love that.
Knock it off already.
Yeah, so it has a nice.
You're making me hungry.
That really nice upscale, nice delicate look. So we don't make that elevated cafe experience come across.
Yeah.
So
What's the gripe? Let's hear it.
Oh,
Tim.
hear it.
So my favorite thing that your restaurant ever had is no longer on the menu. The Big Dipper.
The Big Dipper.
So the French dip?
No, it's kind of like a patty melt burger.
It was a patty melt burger on rye bread and this horseradish,
The horsey sauce.
a horsey sauce on the side,
Yeah.
and I loved. Always got extra sauce.
Yeah.
And it was cut in triangles in thirds.
Yeah.
And then you dip that, and then I would always scoop up the with the potato chips, and even the pickle would go in there, and it's not on the menu.
Do you ever have encores of things that come back on the menu?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. Actually, I'll be happy to put that on one of the features, because what happens with every menu change, I get, the 20 customers who are buying something really particular.
Yeah.
And I always joke, I wish I came in 5 times more a week and it made it worthwhile.
Right, yeah.
But what we tend to do is we try to do, if it's possible to make it without throwing the kitchen off and we have the ingredients.
Yeah.
We will try to accommodate and try to make it.
Yeah.
It's called our oldies but goodies on the the POS. And the older it gets, the more or less people know what it is. But
Yeah.
but then if there's other things that we can't, but it had a cult following, lack of better words, we will put them on as a feature special, whether it's the big weekend special or just a lunch special during the week.
Yeah.
So
I need to let you know when I'm coming. So
Call ahead.
better yet, make sure you get our email and our ticket website, and because I will make it a priority to get the Big Dipper onto the
On the features.
on the feature there.
Okay.
There you go.
And I got probably 1 or 2 employees that still remember how to make it too. So I think
There you
as
go.
far as that goes, so at least the horsey sauce.
Which
anyway.
speaks volumes that you have employees that have been there for a very long time. So they must be happy if they're sticking around. So you must be doing something right, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep it's a hospitality culture, and that's from top to bottom. And we're not perfect, but we strive to always get better.
Yeah.
And learn from our mistakes and things of that nature. And we have people that come and go, and they come back. As long as they leave the correct way, they're welcome to come back.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I see them run them later to people, and they go, really enjoyed working for you. I wish I'd have stayed longer, and things of that nature. But
Yeah.
our overturn is pretty low for the industry, and we have one employee. I won't mention her name, but she was a day one employee.
Wow.
She had one employee as a day one employee. She was actually walked across the boards in when they're still pouring concrete and dirt and stuff
Oh
to
my
walk
gosh.
into the construction site to fill out their application.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow. We need to do an article on her if she's open to it.
Yeah. I'll touch base with her and see.
Yeah, ask her because that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, so she, what do you call the OG employee there. So. And
There
I
you
have
go.
quite a few other ones that have been there, a good big handful have been there 10 plus years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 15 plus years even.
One of
so.
my other favorite parts of Midtown is the outdoor patio. It's incredible. And I love that big fountain. Is there a story?
yeah.
Is there a story behind the fountain?
Yeah, the fountain was originally supposed to go on the other patio. The patio courtyard That's behind Schiffman's and
ski and tennis area?
Yeah, ski and tennis station area right there. And Scott talked to them when they were building the shopping center. Said, hey, it's better if you put it over here. We can help maintain and keep it up, and you get better visibility, and it'll be a central part of our outdoor patio seating.
Yeah.
And so that's how the lady and the dolphin came to be out in our patio.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lights are on the trees now. There's some all year, but I feel like y'all added a few more recently.
Well, we have the lights on the patio. There's string lights above the patio.
Yeah.
Your nice lights, and then the shopping center started the lights in the trees. I think like 3 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because I was just there delivering magazines, and I was like, oh, that's so
they did a
pretty.
pretty decent job. One year I had to tell them redo them. They had a new company, like
That's
a
funny.
used car light out there. I was like, no.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I love also the amount of effort that you put into marketing. I feel like that's not the norm for restaurants. Like with, your advertising, being online, having an email blast, your social media, having photo shoots done. You really do everything, and I think that's super cool.
I mean, I like to claim a lot of credit but my right-hand person, her name is Shara Rubino. She's great. She's great. She's my director of operations is her title.
Okay.
But she's basically the catch-all with every hat kind of thing. So, but we worked hard on. We started years ago when I first came on, but we worked hard on marketing, and then with the transition to digital marketing and social media marketing and things of that nature, we work to embrace it and get better at it and get better at it and get better at it.
Yeah.
So to create your name and brand in the space. And that's been the key to gaining your newer customers. And, because the key to any continued growth of any restaurant or any business is new customers, and then also
returning customers.
Take your returning customers in a happy place that you stay in their mind.
Yeah.
Which is a challenge. Because everybody's got 1,000 things going at them. I got my favorite places, and I still drop out of my mind every week. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go see somebody.
Yeah. Do you, as a restaurant owner, do you try to make it a practice to go visit other restaurants around to like get ideas, but also just to see how they're doing?
I try to visit other independent owned restaurants.
Yeah.
Or at least local franchise or local group owned. Try to stay away from the big chains.
Yeah. Me too.
You're trying to stay with still got a heart in them. You can grow and still have a heart. That's what we're trying to do. And I try to visit all those and learn from them, as well as be just a patron and things of that nature.
And I'm sure they've learned a lot from you in Washington Midtown.
And then I like to go. I go to Florida a lot because I started out during COVID and stuff. Just needed a break, and Florida was still moving around pretty well. And Florida and California are kind of usually ahead of the curve on things as far as food wise. And so it's a good idea to try to glean what's going on and get ahead of it a little bit so you understand it.
Yeah.
And even if you don't fully agree with what doesn't quite fit, you come up with flavors that you introduce. That's how a lot of evolution happens in our menu. Is I came across one or two flavors and came back and said, let's put that flavor in this and put that flavor in that, and then put my team together and we work on it.
Yeah. What's a dish that comes to mind that just really took off that you did not expect?
Crab cakes Benedict. Yes, the crab cakes Benedict was one, and avocado toast. I think we were probably 10 years behind on getting avocado toast on it. And then, a couple of people said, well, isn't that past point trend and stuff like that? But I think what's happened is avocado toast has been reinvented and is circling back around again. So that's an example of one of the products. I was at somewhere in Florida, and they had a roasted herb tomatoes they were using in an omelet or something else. Might have been on some kind of bruschetta type thing. And I was like, this flavors translate well. So I found that product here and introduced it into several different things, including the avocado taste. So it's the avocado, the roasted herb tomatoes.
Ooh, yeah.
So you get that little bit of Italianness to it with the covered in the feta cheese and So it just makes a flavor pop and accentuate everything.
Yeah.
Same way I did that same thing. And so let's put in an omelet. So we got this margarita omelet with fresh basil and
Ooh,
roasted herb tomatoes, mozzarella, Parmesan. So just a different flavor profile.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
Jeff, what is your favorite dish on the menu right now?
I would probably have to say still probably the Pinehurst chicken sandwich. The joke on that was as I was a sales rep for 15 years to the restaurant. I think for 8, that's the only thing I ever ate. I'd come in for lunch and then I'd always eat that. I've changed my sides up now and again.
Creature of habit.
Yeah, so that one.
Well, when you find something you like, you stick with it.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
that's true. I'm guilty of going and ordering the turkey Thai crunch wrap.
Yes,
It's really good, and I order that. I'm like, I gotta switch it up, but it's so good.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't want
because
to.
let's talk about that for just a second. I go to a lot of restaurants, right, with what I do, but it's like I know I want this because it's great. I really need to try some other things, but I feel like I'm betraying the dish.
And then you're super disappointed if it's not quite as good as what you usually
Right.
get.
Yes.
So
I have a local restaurant that we ate at for the first time in a little bit, and I had what I always had, and I'm like, I really wanted to try this other thing, but I know I would have kicked myself over and over had I not done it.
Well, and that's interesting because it brought me to how we're talking about evolving and continue to evolve is, we have this model of trying to do good to great. And as it carries into next year, we continue to look at what we do. Are we doing it good? Can we do it great? If it's average, can it get it up to good tomorrow? If it can't get it up to good to great, then we need to look at changing it, taking it off, making a change, whether it's a procedure, whether it's a product, whether it's a menu item. If you're not striving to great, you may not hit it every time, but if you're striving for it, at least you're getting closer.
Yeah.
And so that's how the evolution of the menu happens and stuff like that, and the evolution of our culture and what we try to do is hospitality.
So as we're kind of wrapping things up, I have a question. What's your advice or a tip that comes to mind for managing a team? Because that's got to be hard. You have a lot of people that you're managing, and I know you're not always the manager, but you oversee all of that. So
my biggest thing I can say about that is because I learned through a lot of trial and error with it because I became the manager. I never managed anything and became the general manager like day one through some circumstances and a lot of trial and error and beat my head against the wall. But the biggest thing I could say is you're assembling your team. The team that's going to complement you is have the people that do what you don't do well. Find the people that do it well.
Yeah.
And make them part of your team and build them up and lift them up and pour what you can in them to help them succeed.
Yeah.
And they'll just take you along for the ride. And that's what the model I'm trying to learn and continue to grow on as far as a leader, business owner, whatever it may be.
That's great advice because I mean, if you just had a whole bunch of yous working for you, that's not really helpful.
Yeah.
If you all have the same strengths
exactly.
and weaknesses.
Or you have that what they call that micromanage approach to things.
Oh yeah.
All you did was I used to tell my customers when I was a sales rep, I was like, buddy, all you did was buy yourself a job. It seems like you're working harder, longer, and getting paid less than you were in your previous, whatever you were doing previously. You might as well just burn the place down and go get a job. And
we are not advocating burning places down.
But I had a few of them. I was thinking about, there were some questionables. But that was always been the model and that's one I attribute back to Scott. Scott he learned from his dad. So between them two, that was already 100 years of restaurant experience.
Wow.
It's a restaurant. But you're number one, you got to be a business owner. If you look at it as being a business owner, and then it happens to be a restaurant, then your eyes will and your perception will stay correct.
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean, you can know how to make good food all day long, but if you can't run a business, you're not going to have a
Exactly.
successful
And
restaurant.
I'm blessed that I'm not a chef. I mean, I love people that are chefs and things of that nature. I'm fairly creative, but I'm blessed to just know enough to get in trouble. And
Yeah.
So, and that's I guess that's also a good thing.
So Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
how do we follow Midtown on social media? How do we find y'all online? All that good stuff.
Well, I know we are. He probably knows better than I
He's
do.
like, where's my right hand woman?
Yeah, she probably tells me all that stuff. Yeah, so
Well, I know
yeah.
you're on Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll put the handle in. We'll
Yeah,
find
put
it.
the handle up here, please, because I'm like the ghost behind the machine, for the most part. But we are doing. I know we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on, and we have our own website.
Yep.
MidtownCafeWS.com.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're even doing reels now and again. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
We'd
Yeah.
like to introduce you to the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. I just let somebody else do it. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of being like the shadow guy behind the scenes.
Midtown Cafe _WS on Instagram.
Okay.
And Midtown Cafe and Dessertery, that's 2 S's, on Facebook.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for
You're
that
welcome.
one.
Well, be sure to go check out Midtown Cafe and Dessertery. I'm sure you've already been, but it's time for a trip back for their awesome pancakes, their awesome turkey Thai crunch wrap,
And it's
Pinehurst chicken sandwich.
And it's the holiday season. Come get your desserts.
Oh my gosh, you guys are slammed this time of year, I'm
yeah.
sure.
So yeah.
What's the deadline to order if you wanted to get something for
If you
too
want
late
to,
for this won't come out in time for Thanksgiving
okay.
order, but
Christmas, try to get your order in by that weekend before Christmas.
okay.
We'll be announcing, posting out dates. I mean, you'll still have stuff available, but it might not be what you want.
Okay. So order the farther ahead the better.
The farther ahead, you better. Yes,
Awesome.
exactly what. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, if
thanks.
you order ahead, you know you're going to get what you want.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Lots of good options.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for coming to chat with us. It was fun.
Enjoyed it.
All right. And as always, you can find Forsyth Mags on Instagram at Forsyth Mags and online at forsythmags.com. And if you enjoyed this episode or any of our episodes, we'd love it if you would leave us a rating or a review. And that's it. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Ooh, that's a mouthful.